You've tuned in to the Top 10 Gardener with garden expert Ken Lain. Join him daily as he answers timely garden questions that are sure to make a difference in your gardens. Now, welcome your host, Ken Lain.
I had mentioned that summer is a good time to plant. The plants are growing better. You can get them to rebloom. It's kind of a second growing season, second planting season for the mountains of Arizona. It's because it's that humidity is quadruples or more, 10 times higher now than it was just 3 weeks ago during June. June is the hottest month to grow things. It's the hardest month to grow things. It's because that prevailing southwest wind with brand new foliage, it's so dry, the ground is just starting to warm up. And so finally, you get plants to limp through June and then they take off. I mean, your tomatoes will grow, double in size by the end of the month, if not more. They'll start setting fruit like crazy because of the rain, just because humidity, cloud cover, the ground all around the plants are now hydrated, not just that little area underneath your drip emitter. It's a game changer. And so, what also grows really fast now are weeds. Weeds will take, this is when horehound, when a goat head, that's the one that's a beautiful ground cover, just looks so pristine. You want it to grow over your entire yard. It's so easy to grow. And then you pull it up, it's got thousands of these little burrs that your dogs walk on. They start limping, whining, going, I'm in pain. Help me. It's an annual weed. And so this is when tumbleweeds go crazy. They'll just start quadruple. They'll become the size of VW beetles. I mean, they're huge. This is when they grow. It's because everything grows faster now, including bugs, including mildews, including everything grows faster in the summer. So you want to keep an eye on things. Weeds, don't let them get ahead of you. I know you put fabric down. I know you got some rock on top of that, but weeds can still grow. It reduces the number of weeds, but they can still grow. Here's the thing with weed killers. You're either going to pull them by hand or hoe them by hand. That's fine if they're small, if you can keep up on it. I'm a strong believer in a tank a week keeps the weeds all at bay, even on large properties. So I kind of go through once a week, I spot treat things I see showing up. At the garden center, we've got acres of plants here. Once a week, go out and just spray things. It's my therapy. I like killing weeds. It just makes me feel better, cleans things up. A weedy yard is kind of an untidy yard. Just I just like it cleaner, neater. I have OC, what do they call that? Attention deficit disorder, ODD, OC. Anyway, just kidding. Not really. But I do like things clean and orderly. So the way I do that is I go out with a tank of sprayer. I don't want to weed by hand. I don't want to bend over that hard. I've had a couple back surgeries, harder on me. Now, the myth is you get some vinegar, you put it in a weed sprayer, and it kills off weeds. And it does. The stronger the vinegar, the better. If you can add a little oil to it, some dish soap, these are things that help it stick to the plant so it kills even better. Here's the thing with those organic vinegar killer things. So I've got some great organics here. They work well, but they kill only the top growth. They don't take out the roots. So they'll burn off. You'll see really fast weed killing, the top growth. But sometimes a week later, 2 weeks later, they'll come back from the roots right back at you. You know, what just happened? I just sprayed you. What's going on? Here's what's happening for annuals that come back from a seed. They're germinating right now by a seed. These are things with usually one taproot. And they got a big foliage to it. So you've got goat head. You pull up this huge foot round weed and it's got one taproot and then all these seeds coming up. And so that's an annual flower. It doesn't come back from the same root. It comes back from a seed. Things like horehound, this is one that comes back. It's a perennial, comes back it's got a real carrot-like root. You can spray that with vinegar and it'll kill off the top growth, but it will come back with a vengeance right after that. So it depends on what type. Vinegar takes out the annual weeds really well, but if they keep coming back at you, that means that plant was a perennial, came back from the roots. You just burned off the top. That was it. Cleaned it up, and then it came right back. So you're going to keep after it over and over and over. If you're going to take the energy and the time, just kill it. Put a weed killer that's in there that takes out the root as well. This is where Roundup became famous. Yes, Roundup is dangerous. It can cause cancers. We have seen health issues, but it's still sold. use some serious precaution stuff. Be very careful with the dogs. Don't let them walk out there on wet. You've just sprayed an area. Use some common sense. Don't let it spray on you. If you do, go take a shower immediately. Detox. So you need to use some real serious precautions if you're using Roundup or glyphosates. That's the chemical name. There's some new products out. We sell one. We don't sell Roundup here because I personally don't want to sell you stuff that's going to cause issues, or me. And so I sell one that's called Decimate. Decimate is, I think, a better product, and it doesn't have the health issues. It kills the top growth all the way down through the roots, kills off the entire thing. Decimate is by far better. And that's what I use in my own yards around here at the garden center. Decimate's going to not just kill off the top growth of an annual or perennial like Vinegar will, it'll kill the entire root structure. So it takes out the whole thing. Now, with these kinds of products, be careful. Anything you spray will die. Grass, just tumbleweeds. If you spray it, it will die. So be careful. Don't be careful around your rosemaries and things. I like to use a shield sometimes. I'll take a piece of plywood or a piece of cardboard. Real easy. I'll use that as a shield in between what I'm spraying and, let's say, my roses or something. It's a game changer. Really helps. If you need help killing weeds or they get ahead of you, come talk to us. We're weed experts. Be right back after this.
Water's Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, maple, verbena, and crepe myrtle.
Crepe myrtle flowers are intense watermelon pink, solar reds, and LED whites that cover this heat-loving shrub.
Plant where you enjoy its beautiful multicolored bark and sinuous branches up close.
The flowers show against forest green foliage that turns red and orange in autumn.
Growing to just head height, every yard has room for at least one, and only available for summer planting here at Waters Garden Center in Prescott. You're listening to garden expert Ken Lain, owner of Waters Garden Center in Prescott. Look for more tips, tricks, and garden shortcuts through Ken's website. Additional shows of this podcast, read his weekly garden column, or follow him on Facebook, Instagram at watersgardencenter.com. That's Waters with 2 T's, gardencenter.com.